Thanks for watching, y'all.
Two of my worst nightmares happened in this movie. One, having a song getting stolen, and two, a lesbian wedding being ruined. So it was really tough for me. It was very uncomfortable.
But you survived.
I survived it. I was like, if this lesbian wedding gets ruined, and then it did, but I survived it. What I love so much about watching you in this movie is knowing how deeply you respect songs and songwriting and what a great writer you are yourself. And yeah, there we go. But also knowing that you, I wrote a song called Close that you did, and you did not insist on fake credit, which a lot of pop stars do. You just sang your ass off, and that was good enough for you and for your fans. So watching this movie and this character that is, in a lot of ways, the opposite of you, was very awesome to watch. How did you, when this project came your way, what's the thought process of wanting to do this movie?
Yeah, well, I've been a fan of John Carney's work for a long time.
Yeah, amazing.
The film is incredible. Sing Street, one of my favorite movies, ones, of course. And I was eager to work with him, and my team said John Carney's working on this movie where a former boy band star effectively steals a song from a sort of down on his luck wedding singer guy. And I was like, I'm in. I know all about those things. And I got on a call with John and we talked through it, and I said, what I really love about this script is that it's more about both these guys, Danny and Rick, being asked the question, how far would you go to get everything you ever wanted and at what cost? And for Danny, that's doing a thing he shouldn't have done, and having to live with those consequences for the rest of his life. And for Rick, he does get what he wants at the end. He gets a hit song, but it's just at what cost?
Yeah.
And it's a really interesting thing to watch both these guys in their journey, and that they're kind of faced with that same question and how they handle it, and what happens when you get everything you ever wanted is a really fun thing to play with. And then on top of that, I love the music, and just was so excited to work with the Paul Rudd, of course, who's, if I may say, he's singing his ass off in this movie.
Singing his ass off.
And we know him as the brilliant actor that he is, and when he stepped on set that first day, because the first scene we shot was the one where we're writing the song that night, where we're getting to know each other, and it was a really well set up schedule where we actually got to know each other in real time in the scene, and he just pulled the guitar out in that scene outside and started playing. I was blown away.
Yeah. In the parallels of coming from a boy band, even though the Jonas Brothers is not a traditional boy band, you guys played instruments and the whole thing, but with the parallels of the things in the character that affect, that are similar to your life, or the idea of the pop star who has it all but is fighting for the next era, the next journey, the next chapter. How did it feel playing a character that is very different from you, but there's similar parallels to your experience?
Yeah, well, you and I have had a lot of really honest conversations. Going back, I think, to that 2014-15 kind of chapter of my story when the brothers in our journey had what I thought ended for that period, and I broke off solo. I was asking myself a lot of the same questions that Danny's asking himself. Can I do this again? Can I not only traverse this mountain, but see the peak again, or the perceived peak? And what I was fortunate enough to realize is that with great collaboration and true collaboration, not like the one we see in this movie, some of those peaks can become resting spots for that next moment. You get to climb even higher, and I'm grateful to people like you and others in this room who I've worked with who have helped me kind of take those next steps towards finding my voice and my sound. And I think for Danny, what was really interesting is that he does have a sense of what he wants to do. He's just missing that kind of magic element.
Yeah.
And it comes by way of this magic meeting with Rick, and there's been so many scenarios, and to all the songwriters in the room, and I know there's a few here,
Shout out songwriters.
where you're hanging out, where you're hanging out, and there's a vibe going, and a song idea gets started, and it may not be intentional, but in the back of your mind, a day or two later, you go, oh, I had this idea. Or you hear a song and you go, oh, I have this idea. And it's happened to me a few times where I've either intentionally or unintentionally listened to a song and gone, I want to do something like that. And sometimes it's too close. And the process that we all know very well is that you have to go through the process to make sure that each person who has contributed some element to the song gets the credit they deserve, both on paper and financially, right? And there are times, I'm sure all of us at different moments have done it unintentionally and had to back channel and go, okay, I got to make sure I do the right thing here.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's only so many notes on the keyboard. There's only so many notes to choose from and things to pull from for inspiration. And I think this film, outside of having the joy of being a part of it, was so interesting to me because it just asked the question of what is ownership of an idea? What does that actually even mean today?
Yeah.
And it extends beyond music, it's film, it's television, everything.
Yeah. What conversations are you having with the director about creative ownership or, because I understand how our life works in a writing room, but I have no clue what it looks like when you're on set. So what do the collaborative conversations look like with the director about this character, about this journey?
Well, the great thing about John Carney is that he's a musician and he makes films like a musician. So, when we're in the room, when you and I are writing, or we're with Blush or Steph or whoever, and it's a flow, it's a free form thing where we all throw out ideas, either good or bad, that help get us to the best thing, or the best, hopefully the best result. And he's kind of the same way. If a line's not working, instead of trying to jam it and find a way to make it work, he goes, let's throw that out and try something else. And he's sort of editing in real time in the same way that we comp vocals in real time. Do a bunch of takes and know that the word you got is the right one for that moment, or it's sung the best in that, or the intention was best. And it was really interesting because even the conversation around the technicalities of the music business stuff, which honestly, I will say I was conscious of. I didn't want to do something that felt like, oh, the music business is evil, because it's not. A lot of good has come to all of our lives from it. There are things about it that are not good at times, as there is in every industry.
Any business, yeah.
And I think it was really smart of him to find a way to just frame it from this lens of, this guy needs a break of some kind. I mean, I love his writing. He wrote not only the music, but the script, of course, co-wrote the script. And the one line where he says, it's real simple, I just have to get back to playing Madison Square Garden. It's like, oh yeah, it's that simple.
Yeah. The music business lingo in the movie, I think, is the closest to correct of any movie I've seen. A lot of times, movies and TV shows about the music business, half the things they're saying, I'm like, that is not a language that we speak. And this was very truthful. It was awesome. One of the main themes of the movie to me was the sort of idea about the difference between commercial success and emotional success, or creative, fulfilling storytelling versus like commercial success. With that theme being so important in this movie, how did you connect to that as someone who, we are in the music business, so you're hoping for commercial success, but we're also trying to write songs that we love deeply. As an actor, how do you apply that to your thought process and your work?
Well, I think that success, it really depends on what your expectations are and your goals are. I mean, the landscape of the way in which the chart works in the music business has changed so much over the last 10 years that now I think I just put things out that I hope will have an impact on people's lives, that they can apply sort of whatever I went through to their own situation, and then take it with them. Because once it's out in the world, it's theirs. That's the way I see it. Now, films are different in that we go back to them as I think, an escape from this world that at times is really, really challenging, especially right now. Yeah. And I think I was so drawn to this because it feels like something that feels wholesome and that can make people's lives a little brighter. I mean, there's a lot of messages in this that I resonate with as a father, as a husband, as a brother, as a friend. You don't have to have lived this experience to understand that a guy who wants to feel like he's seen, both guys, is something we've all felt. Or that, the belief of your child in you is perhaps as profound, if not more profound, of yours in them at times. And it's like, that's a balance that's so beautiful. And, I have a 4-year-old daughter. I was telling Justin before this, I was, visiting schools all week and doing the thing and splitting my day between that and being in the studio writing. And I found that I was so excited to go in and like write a song because I'd spent the day talking about how amazing my child is and the world that I want to see around her. And I think Rick and the honesty that Paul brings to this performance and the grounded nature of his performance and just the love that I think we all have for him as a guy make this something I hope people, connect with in their own ways. And in the same way that I mentioned how songs become the audiences after you put it out. I hope that people see themselves in these characters, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Life is weird, and it throws you some curveballs. And the belief of the people who you love and who love you is all you can really kind of take with you.
Do you feel like if you would have read this script before you had a kid, that you would have connected to it as deeply?
I'll be honest and say if I had read the script before I had a child, I would have played it differently. I think I would not have had the depth of the well that you have once you just see the world through a kid's lens who says, why is glass clear? And you're like, I don't know. I gotta find a way to break this down. And you're actively coming up with these answers that help shape who they become.
And now, why is glass clear?
There's ChatGPT. I find myself, sort of in constant improv classes with her, thinking of ways to explain things. But the other part of it too, which I'll be real about, is that, in a joking manner, I mentioned this AI thing, but that is a factor as it relates to the music business today, the film business, and how we're handling how it's going to be. It is inevitable, right? And much like 20 years ago when autotune became a thing that scared everybody, I had this thought of, okay, what the idea of stealing a song, that's a very real topic to get into as a person who's actively in that industry. But I think that we're all aware that these things can happen and people can make, decisions that affect their lives in this way. And I think, this film does a great job of making an exciting journey to go on. But I probably would have taken pause at sort of like, what is my, but I think it's so timely and feels like something that kind of matters even more now than it ever has.
Yeah. The movie is such a intentional crowd pleaser in the sense of like, it reminds me of a pop song. Of like, you are wanting it to be a crowd pleaser, you want it to cut right to the heart, right to the emotion, and be really, really joyful and fun. And like, we know how much thought goes into a pop song. But I don't know when in a movie like this that is such an intentional crowd pleaser, and as a pop songwriter, I love intentional crowd pleasers, that's a compliment. What sort of collaboration and conversation goes into like, let's make sure this is really joyful and fun, and also balancing like the deep heart and emotionality of it?
Well, I think, credit where credit's due. John Carney, he does such a great job with that in his movies. I remember watching Sing Street and being like, I need to call my brother right after I watched it. He just does that thing where you go, wow, it's great to be alive with people you love. You can always feel that in his films. But, there's a satisfying feeling like a pop song of some unfinished business sometimes too, and in this movie we see the money drop in the thing at the end. So you already watched it, so I don't have to say no spoilers. But you see the money drop in. We don't know what that means. Was there a resolve? Was there a conversation? I love being left with a question with a film or with a song.
Yeah.
If I can give you credit, Good Luck Babe does that to me. One of the best songs of the last 10 years, but it 10 years since his last chart smashing song. Cake by the Ocean, okay. But it does the thing that I love in a song, which makes you think about things afterwards. What's the story? What happened after these 3.5 minutes? And I think when you're left sort of after the movie with your martini with friends, debating it is always good. Whether that's a song, a film, a piece of art, whatever. It's great to be left with a question.
And for me, I was like, he got paid. Like for my heart, I needed to know that he.
Yeah.
But
I think you did.
But the beautiful, I think, point is that maybe for him, just getting the credit and the emotional proof that he created something that the whole world loved, maybe that was enough for him. But let's just say he got paid.
I think he got paid.
I think he got paid, yeah. Also, this isn't even a question, I just want to say, I love that, like, the daughter was the hero, basically.
Yeah.
That was so awesome.
One inside baseball thing with that, which was kind of amazing, is that we didn't know until we saw the movie that was going to happen. So John kept it a kind of a secret the whole time and shot the scene, and even told everyone, I don't know if we'll use this or not. And then we watched the movie. It was never in the script, and I saw that, and tears came to my eyes because it's just so powerful when she has that moment. She realizes that
she has the proof.
Yeah, she has the proof. It's really good.
Unbelievable. Also, I was like, well, of course the kid knows how to work the fucking computer.
Exactly. It's so true.
And her line that young women want revenge. I was like, yes, we do!
Yes. It's one of my favorite lines in the movie.
As I fell in love with music through theater, musical theater, and then all the amazing female singer-songwriters of the 90s and going to their shows, and you put on one hell of a show. We know how important the live community experience of a concert is in the music business. Why do you feel like it's so important that people actually see art together in a theater for a movie versus music?
It's a great question. I think, the shared experience of being impacted by anything, a song or a film or a stage show, is unlike anything in the world. We all spend so much time these days doing this and doom scrolling or looking at our computer screen and really isolating. And I think, not that I'm the authority on this at all, but my hot take is that we spent 2 years in a pretty heavy situation not too long ago, where we were told to be safe and protect the vulnerable and stay inside, and all these things that were very important. And how lucky are we that science and the belief in science exists, that we can come and gather like this and be around each other and experience something as profound as shared experience. And this can sound wild, but I met Bill Nye, the science guy, today. And he said a lot of things that really kind of blew my mind. But we're talking about the importance of science and how it is literally a part of the foundation of, not only this country, but many countries and life in general. And I'm grateful that we're able to do this again, and that people get to experience concerts again. And that we're all perhaps a little sharper now about it. And that's one sort of piece of the puzzle. The second is that how great is it to laugh at something, look to your left and right, and not feel crazy? Because I'll sit at home and think something's funny and have nobody there to confirm that I'm not just losing my mind. And the last piece of that puzzle, I'd say, is it goes back to everything. Sitting around a fire and singing Kumbaya and just being together and living life is what it's all about. It's why I think, we love to write music together, because we get to make something out of nothing and experience sort of a one voice moment thing that makes us feel more connected. And I think the big screen will always be something that draws us together. I'm incredibly encouraged by what we're seeing right now with the success of Obsession, for instance, made on 750 grand and gonna probably cross $100 million in revenue. That just shows that audiences are really sharp. They know what they want, and they're getting behind things that they believe in. And on the same side of things, you know, I think it's wonderful that there are films that are just juggernauts and make over $1 billion and do that. It's good to have people gather, experience something together, and share a little slice of this crazy life by way of just disconnecting and watching something beautiful on the screen.
Couldn't agree more. With that, everyone, tell everyone you know to go watch Power Ballad in the theater. Give it up for Jonas.
Thanks everyone. Thanks Justin. Love you.